Alright, we are going to be learning how to solve quadratics by graphing. So, whenever we graph this, we're going to create a parabola. A parabola is going to be this fun U-shaped curve graph. And we're going to need to find the x-intercepts, the vertex, and the y-intercepts in order to graph this. So, taking an equation we had earlier, x squared plus 5x plus 6. So we found earlier that our x-intercepts were going to be -2 and -3. So also our y-intercept is going to be whatever in this equation that doesn't have an x, which is going to be 6. So our y is going to equal +6. Now our vertex, on the other hand, is something we're going to have to calculate. So we're going to want to start off by labeling A, B, C to the in order from the greatest exponent to the least greatest. Alright, and then we're going to want to put it into this formula up here, B over 2A. So our 5 is going to be B, so we're going to do 5, and then 2, and then our A is going to be 1, since an X by itself, if it's positive, it's a positive 1, if it's a negative, it's going to be a negative 1. So next we're going to want to solve this. Alright. This is then going to be 5 over 2. And that, if we simplify, is going to be 2.5. Alright. And then, if we were to graph this, this is our graph for that equation. We've got it to where our x-intercept over here is at 6, and then one of our x-intercepts is at -2, and in between is at 3. And then our vertex is at that fun little number of -2.5. Next we'll do the equation x squared minus 16. So as earlier we found that we had an x-intercept equal -4 and an x equal 4. So in this one, our y-intercept is once again going to be the one without the x. So that's just going to be y equals -16. Alright, and then next we're going to want to solve for our vertex. Another way that you can find that is by doing x1 and just add them together, and x2. So we'll pretend that's x1, this is x2. So we're going to do -4, well, and then, apologies, you also have to put that all over 2. Then we're going to add 4 down here, and we'll put that over 2. So if we simplify that, that is going to end up being 0 over 2, which is ultimately just going to give us 0. So our vertex equals 0 for this one. So then now if we were to put that on a graph, it would look as such. So we've got our x-intercept of -16 over here. And then we've got our x-intercepts of -4 and +4, as well as our midpoint of 0. Finally, we've got our last equation of 2x squared plus 7x plus 3, which one earlier we found that our x-intercepts was x equals -1 over 2, and our other x equaled -3. And our y-intercept is going to be this +3 And now we're going to find our vertex. So we're going to go ahead and label these A, B, and C. And then we're going to do our B over 2A. So when doing this, we're going to put our 7 over 2 and 2. So this is going to be 7 over 4, which if we calculate is going to end up being 1.75. Now that we've got that, we've got our vertex, which is going to be the negative 0.75, and then we've got our y-intercepts and our x-intercepts. So now we can graph, which would look like this. We've got our y-intercept up here of 3, our negative 1/2, and our negative 3, as well as our negative 1.5. Now, this is going to be a negative because our x-intercept is all the way, our y-intercept is all the way up here, and then our y-intercepts are just on this line right here. So the only option is our vertex needs to be down here in order to create this parabola. And that is how to graph a quadratic equation.